The xenobiology amphitheater hummed with the collective breathing of 24 species, each seated according to their atmospheric requirements. Eliana Martinez sat in the human section, her datapad displaying real-time translations of Professor Vexthor's lecture. The Corinthian instructor's crystalline exoskeleton refracted the overhead lights as he gestured toward the holographic display. Today, cadets, we examine apex predators across known worlds, Vexthor announced, his vocoder translating his chemical signals into galactic standard. Understanding the dominant hunter of each ecosystem provides crucial insight into planetary evolution and species development. Santiago Chun, seated beside Eliana, leaned over and whispered, "This should be interesting." Eliana suppressed a smile. Santiago had transferred from the agricultural program last semester, and his perspective on interspecies dynamics always proved entertaining. The hologram shifted, displaying a quadrupedal creature with massive shoulders and serrated bone ridges protruding from its spine. Its 6 eyes gleamed with predatory intelligence. The thornback of Corinthia Prime, Vexthor said with unmistakable pride. For meters at the shoulder, capable of crushing durasteel with its jaws. For 30 million years, it dominated our world's apex position. Our civilization arose only after we developed plasma weapons capable of deterring them. Murmurs of appreciation rippled through the amphitheater. Avrelian cadets' tentacles quivered nervously at the display. The presentation continued. A Slicketh delegate presented the Void Serpent, a creature that survived in hard vacuum, feeding on asteroid minerals and unwary spacecraft. The Tyrellian ambassador described the Crimson Tide, swarms of telepathic predators that hunted in perfect coordination. Each species shared their apex with a mixture of fear and reverence. These were the monsters that had shaped their evolutionary paths, the nightmares that had forged their civilizations in fire and blood. And now, Vexthor said, his attention turning to the human section, let us examine Earth. Cadet Martinez, your planet's apex predator file appears, incomplete, in our database. Would you care to elaborate? Eliana stood, feeling the weight of multiple alien eyes upon her. She tapped her datapad, uploading her presentation to the central display. The hologram materialized, a sleek, powerful feline with golden fur and a magnificent mane. It moved with liquid grace across a savanna, muscles rippling beneath its coat. This is the African lion, Eliana began. Panthera leo. For millions of years, it stood as one of Earth's apex predators, interrupted a Zaxorian cadet, his gill slits flaring. Your world harbored multiple apex species. Still does, Santiago interjected, grinning. We've got polar bears in the Arctic, great white sharks in the oceans, saltwater crocodiles, Bengal tigers, grizzly bears, jaguars. Impossible. Vexthor's vocoder crackled with what might have been confusion. A world cannot sustain multiple apex predators without ecological collapse. The competition for resources would be, it got complicated, Eliana admitted. But that's not the interesting part, Professor. She advanced the presentation. The hologram shifted to show ancient humans, Homo sapiens from 30,000 years ago, standing around a fire. Lying beside them, head resting on paws, was a canine creature with golden eyes and a gentle expression. That's a gray wolf ancestor, Eliana explained. Canis lupus, another apex predator, hunted in packs, could take down prey 3 times their size, terrifying hunters with bite forces that could crush bone. She paused, letting the image sink in. We domesticated them. 15 to 30,000 years ago, we took wolves, apex predators, and turned them into companions. We called them dogs. The amphitheater erupted in chaos. The Vrelian cadet's tentacles went rigid with shock. The Slicketh delegate's scales flushed to a distressed purple. Even Professor Vexthor's crystalline structure seemed to dim. Domesticated, Vexthor repeated. You coexisted with an apex predator long enough to befriend it. Not just coexisted, Santiago said, standing beside Eliana. We evolved alongside multiple apex predators. Early humans didn't have plasma weapons or exoskeletons. We had sharp sticks and the ability to throw rocks really well. And we didn't just survive, we thrived. Eliana continued, her voice steady despite the shocked silence. We bred dogs for thousands of years. Some for hunting, some for protection, some just for companionship. Today, there are over 300 distinct breeds, ranging from animals small enough to fit in a pocket to ones large enough to fight bears. The holograms cycled through images: a tiny Chihuahua, a massive Great Dane, a border collie herding sheep, a German shepherd working alongside human police, a golden retriever playing with human children. The wolf, the apex predator, now guards our homes, plays with our offspring, and depends on us for survival, Eliana said. We didn't eliminate our apex. We made it family. Professor Vextor seemed to struggle with the concept. But the aggression, the predatory instinct, still there, Santiago confirmed. A dog is still a wolf at its core. We just channeled those instincts. Loyalty to the pack became loyalty to human families. The hunting drive became herding livestock or fetching toys. The territorial aggression became protective devotion. And this wasn't a singular event, Eliana added, advancing the presentation again. We domesticated horses, prey animals that could kill us with a single kick. We domesticated cats, smaller predators that still hunt for sport. We keep snakes, spiders, and even sharks as companions in some cases. On Earth, we don't just survive alongside nature's deadliest creatures. We make them part of our lives. A Corinthian cadet in the back raised a crystalline appendage. How did you develop this ability? What biological advantage allowed such dominance? Eliana and Santiago exchanged glances. Persistence, Eliana said simply. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. We're not the fastest, strongest, or most lethal species on our world. But we don't quit. We adapt. We cooperate. And we form bonds with anyone, or anything, willing to work with us rather than against us. Santiago pulled up his personal files, showing a photo. Him as a child, arms wrapped around a massive dog with thick fur and gentle eyes. This was Atlas, my childhood companion, descendant of wolves that once hunted my ancestors. He protected me, played with me, and when I was sick, he never left my side. His voice softened. That's the human way. We don't conquer through force alone. We conquer through connection. The amphitheater remained silent for a long moment. Then Professor Vexthor's exoskeleton chimed with what the translation software identified as contemplative respect. Perhaps, the professor said slowly, this explains why humans integrate so effectively into the Galactic Coalition. You've been practicing interspecies cooperation since your species learned to walk upright. Eliana smiled. We've had a lot of practice, Professor. 15,000 years with dogs was just the beginning. As the lecture concluded and cadets filed out, Eliana noticed several alien students approaching her and Santiago with questions, curiosity overcoming their initial shock. A Vrelian cadet asked if she could see more images of Earth's domesticated animals. A Zaxorian wanted to know if humans had ever failed to domesticate a species. Santiago laughed, pulling up images of house cats lounging imperiously on furniture. We're still working on some of them. Walking back to their quarters through the station's main corridor, Eliana reflected on the lesson. The galaxy was filled with species that had survived their apex predators through technology, isolation, or extinction of the threat. Humans had done something different. They'd looked at the wolf, the thing that hunted them in the darkness, and said, "Want to be friends?" And somehow, impossibly, it had worked. That, Eliana thought, was the most human thing of all.